Before we begin, besties, don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories. Chioma Okafor's scream pierced through the Lagos night. A man had broken into her hotel room. Her security team found her shaking in the bathroom, the intruder gone, but his message clear. A single red rose on her pillow with a note that read, "You sang for everyone else. Now you'll sing only for me." That was the night everything changed. The night she met Jae-hyun Park, the man who would become both her shield and her weakness. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me take you back to where it all began, 3 months earlier. Chioma Okafor was living her dream. At 26, her debut album, Lagos Nights, had exploded internationally. What started as performances in small clubs in Victoria Island had become sold-out shows across Africa. Now her label, Apex Entertainment, was sending her on her first Asian tour. Seoul, Tokyo, Bangkok, Singapore. "This is it, Chi," her manager, Tunde, said as they reviewed the tour schedule in his Lagos office. "You break Asia, you break the world, but you need to be smart, stay focused, no distractions." "When have I ever been distracted?" Chioma laughed, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "There's a first time for everything." The Seoul concert was scheduled to open the tour. Chioma had been learning basic Korean phrases, studying K-pop choreography to blend Afrobeats with Seoul's music culture. She wanted to respect her new audience, show them she wasn't just another artist passing through, but fame came with shadows. The messages started subtle. DMs on Instagram that were a little too detailed about her daily routine, comments that knew things they shouldn't, what she ate for breakfast, what time she went to the gym, the route her car took to the studio. "It's just fans being fans," Chioma told Tunde when he expressed concern. "I'm not in danger." Then came the Lagos hotel incident. Jae-hyun Park didn't do celebrity protection anymore. After 8 years in the ROK Special Forces and another 4 as a private security contractor, he'd seen enough violence to last a lifetime. These days, he ran a small security consulting firm in Seoul, trained corporate bodyguards, and kept his distance from clients who brought drama. But when Apex Entertainment called with an offer he couldn't refuse, financially or professionally, he found himself on a plane to Lagos. "Mr. Park," Tunde greeted him at the Apex offices, "thank you for coming on such short notice." Jae-hyun was all business. 32, tall, built like someone who could handle himself with sharp eyes that constantly scanned his surroundings. "Tell me everything about the incident." As Tunde explained, Jae-hyun took notes, the break-in, the rose, the note, the tour schedule. "She needs close protection, 24/7. You'll travel with her for the entire Asian leg, 3 months. I don't do long-term assignments anymore. We're paying triple your usual rate." Jae-hyun hesitated. "I need to meet her first, assess if she'll actually follow security protocols." That's when Chioma walked in. She was stunning, not just physically beautiful, but radiant with an energy that filled the room. Natural hair in braids, casual in jeans and an off-shoulder top, moving with the confidence of someone comfortable in her own skin. "You must be my new shadow," she said, extending her hand with a bright smile. "I'm Chioma." Jae-hyun Park. His handshake was firm, professional, brief. "Just so we're clear," Chioma said, sitting across from him, "I appreciate the concern, but I'm not changing my life because some creep sent flowers. I have a tour to do, fans to meet, a career to build. And I'm here to make sure you survive it." Jae-hyun replied flatly. Their eyes met, hers defiant, his immovable. Tunde cleared his throat. "Maybe we should discuss the security protocols." "I don't do curfews," Chioma interrupted. "I don't do restricted movements. I'm an artist, not a prisoner." "Then you'll be a dead artist," Jae-hyun said simply. "Your stalker bypassed hotel security, knew your room number, had a key card. That's not a random obsessed fan. That's someone with resources, planning, and escalating behavior. The rose and note? That's a promise. He will come for you again. The room went silent. Chioma's confidence wavered slightly. So, what do you suggest? You follow my rules, completely, no exceptions. I control your schedule, vet everyone who gets near you, and you don't go anywhere without my clearance. That's insane. That's survival. And if I refuse? Jae-hyun stood collecting his briefcase. Then I walk away, and you find someone else who'll watch you die. Your choice. He headed for the door. Wait, Chioma's voice was softer. I'll cooperate, but I need you to understand something. Music isn't just my career. It's my life. My voice is how I connect with people. If I can't perform, if I can't meet my fans, then what's the point of being safe? Jae-hyun turned back, studying her. I'm not here to cage you. I'm here to keep you alive while you do what you love. But that only works if you trust me. Then I guess we're stuck with each other, Chioma said, managing a small smile. For the next 3 months. The flight to Seoul was Chioma's first real experience of what close protection meant. Jae-hyun was everywhere. He checked her luggage personally, vetted every member of her traveling team, sat in the row behind her on the plane, never sleeping, always watching. Does he ever relax? Chioma whispered to her assistant, Ngozi. I don't think that man knows how to relax, Ngozi whispered back. When they landed at Incheon Airport, Jae-hyun transformed. He moved through the crowds with military precision, always positioning himself between Chioma and potential threats, his hand hovering near his jacket, where Chioma suspected he carried a weapon. The Seoul Hotel was a 5-star luxury property, but Jae-hyun wasn't impressed. Your room is compromised, he announced after a 5-minute inspection. It's a penthouse suite with too many access points, balcony, service entrance, shared ventilation with adjacent rooms. He was already on his phone. We're moving you. Within an hour, Chioma was in a different room, smaller, less glamorous, but with a single entrance that Jae-hyun could monitor from the suite next door. Welcome to your new home, he said. I'll be right through that connecting door. It stays unlocked. If anything, and I mean anything, feels wrong, you call me immediately. You're really serious about this. Someone broke into your room in Lagos. Until we identify who and neutralize the threat, everything is serious. That night, Chioma couldn't sleep. The adrenaline of travel, the nervousness about her Seoul debut, and the strange presence of Jae-hyun in the next room kept her awake. Around 2 a.m., she heard movement. The connecting door opened slightly. Can't sleep? Jae-hyun's voice came through the darkness. How did you know I was awake? I hear everything. He stepped into view, wearing tactical pants and a t-shirt that showed off his military build. Want some tea? Helps with jet lag. They ended up sitting in her sweet small kitchenette, drinking Korean honey citron tea. Why did you leave the military? Chioma asked. That's personal. We're going to spend 3 months together. Might as well get personal. Jae-hyun was quiet for a long moment. I lost someone, a client. I was supposed to protect a diplomat's daughter. She wanted to go to a market I hadn't cleared. I said no. She went anyway, slipped away from her local security. Bomb went off. She didn't make it. That wasn't your fault, wasn't it? I should have been more persuasive, should have locked her down tighter. His eyes met Chioma's. That's why I have rules, why I need you to follow them. Because I won't lose another person on my watch. Something in his voice made Chioma's chest tighten. This wasn't just a job for him. It was redemption. I'll follow your rules, she said softly. I promise. The Seoul Olympic Stadium concert was everything Chioma dreamed of. 15,000 fans filled the arena, Korean and international, all screaming her name. The stage was massive, the lights dazzling, the energy electric. Backstage, Jae-hyun ran final security checks. No unvetted personnel within 50 feet of her. I want eyes on every entrance. And someone checked that pyrotechnics setup again. Third time. "You're paranoid," said the venue's head of security. "I'm careful. There's a difference." When Chioma took the stage in a stunning outfit that blended traditional Nigerian patterns with modern Seoul street style, the crowd went wild. She performed her heart out. Lagos Nights, Fire and Rain, Soldier's Daughter. Each song connected, bridged cultures, made 15,000 people move as one. From his position stage, right, Jae-hyun watched. Not the performance. He was scanning the crowd, monitoring exits, tracking anyone who moved against the flow of the audience. Then he saw it. Section 14, row 8. A man standing still while everyone around him danced, staring at Chioma with an intensity that made Jae-hyun's instincts scream. "Control, I need eyes on section 14, row 8. Male, black jacket, motionless." His security team zoomed cameras in. The man was holding something. A phone? No, something else. When Chioma hit her final high note, the man raised his hand. A single red rose. "Move!" Jae-hyun was already running. He reached the section in seconds, but the man was gone, vanished into the crowd. All that remained was the rose, dropped on the seat, and a note. "Beautiful performance, but you look tired. You need rest. I'll help you rest soon, forever." Chioma found Jae-hyun backstage after the show, still riding the high of her performance. But one look at his face, and her smile disappeared. What happened? He was here, in the audience. The blood drained from her face. What? Jae-hyun handed her the note, already sealed in an evidence bag. She read it, her hands beginning to shake. "We need to increase security protocols," Jae-hyun said, his voice tight. "And we need to seriously consider canceling the rest of the tour." "Absolutely not. Chioma, this isn't a request. And I'm not asking for permission." Her voice rose, drawing looks from nearby crew members. "I won't let him win. I won't let him take this from me. Do you understand? This is my dream, my life's work. I won't give it up because some psychopath thinks he owns me." Jae-hyun stepped closer, lowering his voice. "He got within 20 feet of you tonight. In a venue I personally vetted. That means he's smart, resourced, and escalating. The next note might not be on a seat. It might be delivered personally. Then you do your job and stop him." "I'm trying to do my job. You're making it impossible." They stared at each other, the air between them crackling with tension and something else, something neither of them wanted to name. "I have 6 more cities on this tour," Chioma said finally, her voice steadier. "Tokyo, Bangkok, Singapore, Manila, Hong Kong, and back to Seoul for the finale. I'm performing in all of them. What I need from you is a plan to keep me safe while I do it. Can you give me that, or should I find someone who can?" It was a challenge, and they both knew it. Jae-hyun's jaw tightened. "Fine, but from now on you don't leave my sight. Not for a minute. You eat when I clear your food. You sleep when I secure your room. You breathe when I say the air is safe. Those are my terms." "Fine." "And no more pushing boundaries. No sneaking out to explore the city. No impromptu meet and greets with fans. Nothing that isn't on the schedule I approve." "Agreed." "I mean it, Chioma. One mistake, one moment of carelessness, and you're dead. And I'll have failed. Again." The vulnerability in that last sentence caught her off guard. This wasn't just about the job. This was about the girl he couldn't save, the guilt he still carried. "I trust you," she said softly. "I'll follow your rules, all of them." Something shifted in his expression. "Then we do this together, as a team. As a team, over the next 3 weeks, they fell into a new rhythm. Jae-hyun was her constant shadow, closer than before, always within arm's reach. At first, it felt suffocating, but gradually, Chioma began to appreciate his presence, the way he anticipated her needs, how he'd have her favorite Nigerian snacks waiting in her dressing room, the subtle ways he'd position himself to give her privacy while still maintaining security. And Jae-hyun, despite his best efforts to remain professional, found himself drawn to her in ways that terrified him. Her resilience, her passion, the way she'd light up on stage, transforming from the woman who trembled at shadows into a force of nature. In Tokyo, after her second concert, they had their first real conversation that wasn't about security protocols. It was 3 a.m. Chioma couldn't sleep again, the adrenaline from performing still coursing through her veins. She found Jae-hyun in the suite's living room, reviewing security footage on his laptop. "Don't you ever sleep?" she asked, curling up on the opposite end of the couch. "I'll sleep when you're safe." "That's not sustainable." "Neither is you being awake at 3 a.m. He closed his laptop, giving her his full attention. "What's really keeping you up?" Chioma was quiet for a moment. "Fear, if I'm honest. Every time I'm on stage now, I wonder if he's out there, watching, planning, and I hate that he's taken that joy from me. I used to lose myself in the music. Now I'm always aware, always looking over my shoulder." "That's normal. After trauma, hypervigilance is a survival response." "Is that what you feel? After what happened with the diplomat's daughter?" Jae-hyun's expression shuddered. "We're not talking about me." "Why not? You know everything about me. My fears, my dreams, what I eat for breakfast, but you're still a mystery." "I'm your bodyguard, not your friend." The words stung more than Chioma expected. "Right, of course. Professional distance." She started to stand, but Jae-hyun's hand caught her wrist gently. "Wait, I'm sorry. That came out wrong." She sat back down, and he released her wrist, but the warmth of his touch lingered. "I don't let people in," Jae-hyun said finally. "It's easier that way. Safer." "Safer for who?" "For everyone." He met her eyes. "I told you about the girl I lost. What I didn't tell you is that I'd gotten too close, started caring more than I should have. When she died, it nearly destroyed me. I swore I'd never make that mistake again. And now I'm terrified I'm making the same mistake with you." The confession hung between them, heavy and charged. Chioma's heart hammered in her chest. "Jae-hyun." "You should sleep," he said abruptly, standing. "We have an early flight to Bangkok tomorrow." But as Chioma lay in bed that night, she couldn't stop thinking about his words, about the way he'd looked at her, about the fact that she was feeling things for him too, things that went way beyond gratitude or professional respect. Bangkok was supposed to be a fresh start. New city, new venue, tighter security. Jae-hyun had worked with local authorities to establish multiple security perimeters. No one was getting close to Chioma this time. The concert was spectacular. The Bangkok crowd was wild, energetic, singing along to every word even when they were in Yoruba. Chioma fed off their energy, gave them everything she had. After the show, Jae-hyun escorted her back to the hotel. They were in the elevator, alone for the first time all day, when Chioma spoke. "Thank you." "For what?" "For letting me do this, for not forcing me to quit. I know it would be easier for you if I canceled everything." "Easier isn't always right. You deserve to live your life, chase your dreams. I'm just here to make sure you survive while doing it." The elevator doors opened to their floor. Jae-hyun did his usual sweep of the hallway before allowing her to exit. Everything was clear. But when they reached her suite door, something felt wrong. Jae-hyun stopped, his hand going to the weapon at his hip. "Stay behind me." "What is it?" "The door. It's slightly ajar." Chioma's breath caught. They'd left it locked. She knew they had. Jae-hyun pulled his weapon, pushing her behind him as he slowly opened the door. The suite was dark, but he could see enough. Someone had been here. Recently. He flipped the lights on. The suite had been transformed. Red roses everywhere, hundreds of them. On every surface, the bed, the floor, the furniture, and on the mirror, written in what looked like lipstick. Soon, my love. Very soon. Chioma's scream echoed through the hallway. Jae-hyun immediately pulled her out, securing her in his own suite while his team swept hers. The Bangkok police were called. The hotel's security footage was reviewed, but somehow, impossibly, the stalker had bypassed every security measure. No one had seen him enter. No cameras had caught him. It was like he was a ghost. "How is this possible?" Chioma asked, sitting on Jae-hyun's bed, wrapped in a blanket, shaking. "You checked everything. You had people watching." "He has help," Jae-hyun said grimly, pacing. "Someone on the inside, hotel staff, venue security, maybe even someone on your team. That's the only explanation." "You think someone I know is helping him?" "I think someone is being paid or coerced into providing information. Your schedule, your room number, security protocols. He knows too much." Chioma felt sick. "What do we do?" "We trust no one. From now on, I'm the only person who knows your real itinerary. Everyone else gets dummy schedules, and you're staying in my suite, no more separate rooms." "Jae-hyun, this isn't negotiable, Chioma. He got into your room. He could have been waiting for you. Could have..." He couldn't finish the sentence. The thought of what could have happened made him physically ill. "Okay," she whispered. "I'll stay with you." That night, Chioma slept in Jae-hyun's bed while he kept watch from a chair, his weapon in his lap, his eyes never leaving the door. Every sound made him tense. Every shadow made him ready to act. Around 4 a.m., Chioma woke from a nightmare, crying out. Jae-hyun was beside her in an instant. "I'm here. You're safe. I've got you." She clung to him, trembling. "I can't do this. I can't keep pretending I'm brave. I'm terrified, Jae-hyun. Absolutely terrified." "I know." His arms tightened around her. "But you're still here. Still fighting. That's the definition of bravery." "What if he gets to me? What if next time you can't stop him?" "That won't happen." "You can't promise that." "Yes, I can." He pulled back to look at her, his eyes fierce. "I will die before I let anyone hurt you. Do you understand me? I will put myself between you and any threat, always. You are my priority, my only priority." The intensity in his voice, in his eyes, made Chioma's breath catch. "Why? Why do you care so much?" "Because you're not just a client anymore," he admitted, the words seeming to tear out of him. "Because somewhere along the way, you became important, essential. And the thought of losing you, it terrifies me more than anything I faced in combat." "Jae-hyun, I know I shouldn't feel this way. I know it's unprofessional and dangerous and breaks every rule I set for myself, but I can't help it. I can't stop caring about you." Chioma's hand cupped his face, then stopped trying to stop. When their lips met, it felt inevitable. Like something that had been building since the moment they met. Jae-hyun kissed her like a man who'd been holding back for too long, and Chioma kissed him back like a woman who'd finally found what she'd been looking for. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Jae-hyun rested his forehead against hers. "This is a terrible idea," he murmured. "Probably the worst," she agreed. "I'm supposed to be protecting you." "You are protecting me. This compromises everything. Or maybe it makes you fight harder." She looked at him. "Maybe caring about me makes you better at your job, not worse. Or it makes me reckless, makes me take chances I shouldn't. Then we'll be careful, both of us." Jae-hyun wanted to argue, wanted to push her away for her own good, but he couldn't. Not anymore. If we do this, if we're together, you still follow my security protocols. No exceptions. I promise. And if there's ever a situation where I have to choose between your happiness and your safety, I choose safety. Every time. I understand. And when this tour is over, when the threat is neutralized, we figure out if this is real or just adrenaline and proximity. Chioma smiled. It's real. I already know it's real. How can you be sure? Because I've never felt like this before. Never felt this safe and this terrified at the same time. Never wanted someone the way I want you. Jae-hyun kissed her again, softer this time. Get some sleep. We have a long day tomorrow. She curled up against him, her head on his chest, and for the first time since the Lagos incident, she slept peacefully. Singapore was supposed to be the safest stop on the tour. Jae-hyun had worked with Singapore's elite police force to establish security that was nearly impenetrable, metal detectors at every entrance, background checks on every staff member, undercover officers throughout the venue. The concert went perfectly. No incidents, no roses, no notes. Chioma began to hope that maybe, just maybe, they'd scared him off. But after the show, as Jae-hyun was escorting her to the car, his phone rang. Unknown number. He answered cautiously. Park? A distorted voice came through. Hello, Mr. Park? Enjoying the tour? Jae-hyun's blood ran cold. He signaled his team to track the call. Who is this? A concerned fan. You see, I've noticed you've gotten very close to my Chioma. That's unacceptable. Your Chioma? She's not your anything. Oh, but she is. She just doesn't know it yet. And you're in the way. If you want her, you'll have to go through me. Laughter echoed through the phone. That can be arranged. In fact, Mr. Park, I think it's time we met, face to face. Name the time and place. Soon, very soon. But first, I think I need to remind Chioma who she belongs to. Check your email. The line went dead. Jae-hyun immediately checked his email, a new message with a video attachment. He hesitated, then opened it. The video showed Chioma's mother sitting in what looked like her Lagos home, unaware she was being filmed. The timestamp was from that morning. The message below the video read, She's lovely. It would be a shame if something happened to her. Call off your security, Mr. Park. Let me have what's mine. Or your girlfriend watches her mother die. Jae-hyun felt rage like he'd never experienced. This wasn't just about Chioma anymore. The stalker was threatening her family. What is it? Chioma asked, seeing his expression. He showed her the video. Her scream attracted attention from everyone nearby. My mother! Oh God, my mother! We have to call her. We have to warn her. I'm already on it. Jae-hyun was dialing, coordinating with his contacts in Lagos. I'm sending a team to her house right now. She'll be protected. This is my fault. He's going after her because of me. No, this is his fault. He's the monster here, not you. Within an hour, Jae-hyun had arranged for Chioma's mother and her entire family to be moved to a secure location in Lagos with 24-hour protection. The stalker had made a critical mistake. By threatening her family, he'd given them a way to track him. Someone had to be watching the house to get that footage. I need to cancel the rest of the tour, Chioma said, pacing her hotel room. I need to go home. That's exactly what he wants. He wants you scared, isolated, easier to access. But my family is being protected by the best security team in Lagos. They're safer now than they've ever been. Jae-hyun took her hands. Listen to me. We're close. He's getting desperate, making mistakes. The phone call, the video, he's showing his hand, and that means we can catch him. How? By finishing the tour, by staying the course. He expects you to run. When you don't, he'll have to make a move. And when he does, we'll be ready. You want to use me as bait. I want to draw him out in a controlled environment where I have every advantage. The final Seoul concert. He'll come. I know he will. And when he does, we end this. Chioma was terrified, but she trusted Jae-hyun. Okay, we finished the tour. The next two cities, Manila and Hong Kong, passed in a blur. Every concert was a success. Every night was nerve-wracking, but there were no more incidents. No roses, no notes, just silence. The silence was almost worse than the threats. He's planning something big, Jae-hyun said as they flew back to Seoul for the final concert. The silence isn't a good sign. It means he's preparing. Let him come, Chioma said, surprising herself with her own courage. I'm tired of being afraid, tired of looking over my shoulder. If the Seoul concert is where this ends, then so be it. The final Seoul concert was scheduled for Olympic Stadium again, exactly 3 months after the tour began. Jae-hyun spent a week preparing. He coordinated with Korean National Police, installed additional security cameras, screened every single person who would be in the building. The night before the concert, Chioma and Jae-hyun were alone in their hotel suite. They'd fallen into an easy intimacy over the past month, stolen kisses between sound checks, quiet conversations in the early morning hours, holding each other when the fear got too overwhelming. Whatever happens tomorrow, Chioma said, lying in his arms, I want you to know something. What? I love you. I know it's fast. I know it's crazy, but I love you, Jae-hyun Park. You're the most honorable, protective, incredible man I've ever met. And even if this all ends tomorrow, I don't regret a single moment. Jae-hyun's chest tightened. He'd been fighting these feelings, trying to keep some professional distance, but hearing her say those words broke something open inside him. I love you too, he whispered, more than I thought I could love anyone. You've reminded me that life is worth protecting, worth fighting for, not just surviving, but truly living. And when this is over, when you're safe, I want to build a real life with you, not as your bodyguard, as your partner, your equal. Seoul kissed him deeply. Promise me something. Anything. Promise me that tomorrow you'll keep yourself safe too. Don't be so focused on protecting me that you forget you matter. You matter to me. So much. I promise. They made love that night with a tenderness and desperation that came from knowing everything was about to change. Tomorrow would either be the end of the nightmare or the beginning of something worse. Either way, there was no going back. The Seoul Olympic Stadium was packed. 20,000 fans this time, double the first concert. The final show of a groundbreaking tour. Korean and Nigerian flags waved side by side. The energy was electric. Backstage, Jae-hyun did his final briefing with his security team. I want eyes everywhere. Every entrance, every exit, every shadow. If someone so much as breathes wrong, I want to know about it. And if you see anyone with roses, you take them down immediately. Understood? His team nodded. Chioma appeared in her final costume, a stunning creation that merged traditional Yoruba patterns with modern Seoul fashion. She looked like royalty, strong, powerful, beautiful. Ready? Jae-hyun asked. Ready? He kissed her quickly. Stay close to the front of the stage. Don't go near the edges where crowd control is weakest, and if anything feels wrong, you get off that stage immediately. Promise me. I promise. The concert began. Chioma was magnificent. She owned that stage, commanded the audience, gave them a performance they'd never forget. Song after song, she built to a crescendo, saving her biggest hit, Soldier's Daughter, for last. Jae-hyun watched from the wings, his eyes constantly scanning. The crowd was loving every moment. Security checkpoints had been smooth. Nothing suspicious. Maybe, just maybe, they'd been wrong. Maybe the stalker had given up. Then Chioma began the final song. The lights dimmed, a single spotlight on her. Her voice, powerful and pure, filled the stadium. That's when Jae-hyun saw him. Not in the crowd. On the stage. A stagehand, someone who'd passed every security check, was moving toward Chioma from behind. In his hand, something glinted under the stage lights. A knife. "Chioma!" Jae-hyun was already running. Everything happened in slow motion, the stagehand lunging, Chioma turning, seeing the threat, her scream. Jae-hyun reached them a split second before the knife would have plunged into Chioma's back. He tackled the attacker, both of them crashing to the stage floor. The stadium erupted in chaos, fans screaming, security rushing the stage, music cutting out. Jae-hyun and the Stalker fought viciously. The man was strong, trained, desperate. The knife flashed, and Jae-hyun felt it slice across his shoulder. Pain bloomed, but he ignored it. He couldn't fail. Not now, not when Chioma was finally safe. With a move he'd learned in Special Forces, Jae-hyun disarmed the attacker and pinned him to the ground. His team swarmed in, taking the man into custody. "Jae-hyun!" Chioma was beside him, her hands on his bleeding shoulder. "You're hurt." "I'm fine. Are you okay? Did he touch you?" No, you stopped him." Tears streamed down her face. "You saved me." The Stalker was being dragged away, still screaming. "She's mine. She belongs to me. You can't keep her from me." "Get him out of here," Jae-hyun ordered. Paramedics rushed onto the stage, but Jae-hyun waved them toward the Stalker first. "Check him for injuries, then get him to the police." "Sir, you're bleeding." "It's superficial. I'm fine." But Chioma wasn't letting him play hero. "Sit down, now. Let them help you." The cut wasn't as bad as it looked. A clean slice that would need stitches, but hadn't hit anything vital. As the paramedics worked, Korean police took statements. The Stalker's identity was revealed. Min-jun Kim, a music producer who'd been rejected when he'd approached Apex Entertainment months ago to work with Chioma. His obsession had grown from that rejection, spiraling into delusion that she was meant to be his. He'd hired accomplices to help him track her movements, bribed hotel and venue staff, created an entire network dedicated to getting close to her. But it was over now. Truly over. Hours later, after police statements and medical treatment and debriefing Apex Entertainment, Chioma and Jae-hyun finally made it back to their hotel. They stood in the suite, both exhausted, both processing everything that had happened. "You kept your promise," Chioma said finally. "You kept me safe. And you kept yours. You trusted me." She crossed to him, careful of his bandaged shoulder, and wrapped her arms around him. "What happens now?" "Now?" Jae-hyun held her close, breathing in the scent of her hair, feeling the solid realness of her in his arms. "Now you get to live your life without fear, tour the world, make your music, be free. And you?" "I go back to Seoul, back to my consulting firm, back to training bodyguards and staying behind the scenes." Chioma pulled back to look at him. "That's it? After everything, we just go our separate ways?" That was the agreement, wasn't it? When the tour was over, when the threat was neutralized, we'd figure out if this was real. "And have you figured it out?" Jae-hyun cupped her face gently. "I've known for weeks that this is real. But you have a life to live, Chioma, a career that's just taking off. You'll go back to Lagos, then tour the world. I can't ask you to give that up for me." "You're not asking. I'm choosing." She covered his hands with hers. "Yes, I have a career. Yes, I'll keep touring and making music. But why does that mean I have to lose you? Seoul can be my base. I can fly to Lagos when I need to. We can make this work if we both want it." "You'd really do that? Uproot your entire life?" "My life isn't a place, Jae-hyun. It's the people I love, the music I make, the experiences I have. And I want you in all of it, not as my bodyguard, as my partner, my love, the man I come home to. Jae-hyun felt something loosen in his chest, something he'd been holding tight for so long. I don't know how to be in a relationship. I've spent so many years keeping people at arm's length. Then we'll figure it out together. Make mistakes, learn as we go. Isn't that what love is? And when you're on tour, when you're gone for months at a time, we video call every night. You come visit when you can. I fly back between shows. It won't be conventional, but it'll be ours. Jae-hyun searched her eyes. You're really sure about this? More sure than I've ever been about anything. He kissed her then, pouring everything he felt into it. Relief, joy, hope. All the emotions he'd suppressed for so long. When they broke apart, both smiling, Chioma said, "So what do we do first, as a real couple?" "First, we sleep. You've been running on adrenaline for 3 months. You need rest." Always the protector. Always. They climbed into bed together, no fear, no threats, just the two of them. Chioma curled into Jae-hyun's uninjured side, her head on his chest. "Jae-hyun? Thank you. For everything. For keeping me safe. For seeing me as more than just a client. For loving me even when you tried not to. Thank you for breaking down my walls. For reminding me what it feels like to live, not just survive. For choosing me when you could have anyone. There's no one else I'd want." Same. In the weeks that followed, they built their new life together. Chioma returned to Lagos briefly to reunite with her family, now safe and no longer under threat. Jae-hyun came with her, meeting her mother properly this time, not as her bodyguard, but as the man who loved her daughter. Mrs. Okafor liked him immediately. "You have good eyes," she told him in Yoruba, which Chioma translated. "Eyes that see her soul, not just her beauty. That's rare." Back in Seoul, Chioma set up a second home base. She worked with Korean producers, blending Afrobeats with K-pop in ways that had never been done before. The collaboration album that came from it topped charts in both Nigeria and South Korea. Jae-hyun went back to his consulting firm, but with a new perspective. He began specializing in security for touring artists, using everything he'd learned from protecting Chioma to build better protocols, train better teams, keep more people safe. They carved out time for each other between her tours and his work. Quiet mornings in their Seoul apartment, sunset walks along the Han River, cooking together, trying to blend Korean and Nigerian cuisines with varying degrees of success. 6 months after the final Seoul concert, Jae-hyun took Chioma back to Olympic Stadium. Not for a performance, but just to walk the empty venue. "Why are we here?" Chioma asked as they stood on the dark stage. "Because this is where it all changed. Where I stopped pretending I didn't love you. Where I was willing to die to keep you safe. Where we became real. It's also where you got stabbed trying to protect me," Chioma pointed out. "A small price to pay." He turned to face her fully. "Chioma Okafor, these past 6 months have been the happiest of my life. You've taught me how to live again, how to love without fear, how to build something real instead of just protecting what exists." "Jae-hyun, what are you—" He dropped to one knee, pulling out a small velvet box. Chioma's hands flew to her mouth. "Oh my God. I'm not good with words. I'm better with actions. So let me show you how much you mean to me. Will you marry me? Will you let me be your partner, your protector, your home for the rest of our lives?" The ring was stunning, a diamond set in a band that incorporated both Korean and Nigerian design elements. Perfectly them. "Yes!" Chioma was crying, laughing, pulling him up to kiss him. "Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes!" He slid the ring on her finger, and it fit perfectly. "I love you," she said against his lips. I love you too, always. They stood there on the empty stage where their story had reached its climax, holding each other, planning their future. A future that would include tours and travel, Lagos and Seoul, music and security work, family and friends. A future built on trust, respect, and love that had been forged in fire and emerged stronger. Chioma's phone buzzed. She glanced at it and laughed. Tunde wants to know if I'm ready to start planning my next tour. North America this time. What are you going to tell him? That I need to plan a wedding first. The tour can wait. You don't have to put your career on hold for me. I'm not putting it on hold. I'm prioritizing. Music is my passion, but you're my heart. And I want to start our marriage right, with time for just us before the chaos begins again. Jae-hyun smiled, that rare full smile that she'd worked so hard to earn. I like the sound of that, though you know I'll probably end up as your head of security again. I'm counting on it. No one protects me like you do. No one ever will. They left the stadium hand in hand, walking into the Seoul night. Behind them was the drama, the fear, the violence. Ahead was something they'd both stopped believing in. A future filled with love, partnership, and possibility. Chioma squeezed his hand. Ready to start our next adventure? With you, always. And as they drove through the glittering streets of Seoul, past the Han River reflecting city lights toward the home they'd built together, both knew they'd found something rare and precious. Not just love, but a love that had been tested and survived. A love built on mutual respect, shared strength, and the knowledge that they'd chosen each other freely and completely. 3 years later, Chioma stood backstage at Madison Square Garden, about to perform to a sold-out crowd. Her third world tour was nearly complete, and it had been her most successful yet, but the nerves before every show never quite went away. A familiar presence appeared behind her, strong arms wrapped around her waist. "You've got this," Jae-hyun murmured against her ear. "Just like always." She turned in his arms, her wedding ring catching the backstage lights. "Still not tired of watching me perform?" "Never, though I am looking forward to when this tour ends and we can take that vacation we planned." 2 weeks in Jeju Island. Just us, no security details, no concerts, no obligations. Perfect. The stage manager called 5 minutes. Chioma kissed her husband quickly. "Love you." "Love you too. Now go show them what Lagos and Seoul created together." She walked onto the stage to deafening applause, and as the music started, she caught Jae-hyun's eye from the wings. He was watching her the same way he always did, with pride, love, and that protective instinct that would never fully go away. And Chioma wouldn't want it any other way. He'd saved her life once, but more than that, he'd shown her how to live it fully, fearlessly, with love as her armor. The music swelled, the crowd roared, and Chioma sang her heart out, knowing that when the show ended, she'd go home to the man who taught her that the greatest adventure wasn't on stage or in the spotlight, but in the quiet moments between. Building a life with someone who saw all of you and loved you anyway. The bodyguard and the star, the protector and the artist, 2 people from different worlds who'd found in each other exactly what they needed. And they lived, truly lived, happily ever after. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories. Drop a comment telling me what you thought of Chioma and Jae-hyun's journey. Should I do more romance stories like this? Let me know.